How do you track your investments? Is it a weekly con call that you have amongst your 15, 16 analysts? It's a monthly check that you do. Of course, you watch quarterly numbers and whatever has changed in the peer group as well as the company. How do you do the nitty-gritties of sort of tracking that investment?
Sure. So let me just explain through a quick example. So for every stock in our portfolio, we have a recommended position size basis our view on the fundamental valuation of the company. So let's take a company such as Divi's Lab, right? So Divi's Lab, going into COVID, our view was going into COVID, say back in March 20, early days of COVID, our view was this should be roughly 3%, 4% of our portfolio. Then as the stock rode through the first 2 years of COVID, the stock's weight kept going up. It kept pushing north of 3-4% because Divi's did so well in those first 2 years of COVID. Our view was COVID was not going to last, and therefore every time Divi's rode up, we would pull the weight back to 3-4%, and that's something that's tracked weekly by our fund managers. That if Divi's is pushing north of the recommended weight of 3%, we will pull the position back because we didn't think COVID would be a long-term driver of Divi's compounding. Then by the time we came to January 2022, Divi's was down to 2% of our portfolio, which we felt was where it should be given the long-term prospects of the company. However, through 2022, Divi's share price halved. As COVID ended and Divi's told the world that Molnupiravir revenues, which were COVID-linked revenues, are ebbing off, through 2022, Divi's halved. And by the end of 22, Divi's position size was, I think, down to 1.5% of the portfolio. That's when it became apparent. The whole China tensions emerged in the latter half of 2022. And November, December, we did some work talking to Divi's customers, talking to the global pharma majors in their American headquarters. November, December, we became convinced that there was going to be a big shift from China to India in API production. So January of this year, we quadrupled Divi's weight from roughly 1.5-2% to 6-7%. Right, so that was a strategic call made that look, Divi's has done well through COVID. The position size had been reduced through the COVID years. In 2022, the stock is halved, but now the market is misunderstanding Divi's positioning. It's a major beneficiary of China Plus One. Let's ramp up the position size. So Jan 23, we quadrupled Divi's position size in the portfolio. And now as Divi's goes up, if it goes through, say, if its weight increases north of 8-9%, we might think of paring the weight back, but we think Divi's stands to be a major beneficiary of the tensions that are playing out across the world, especially in China.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.